loud.
Don't expect us to apologize for it.
ZPD's first rabbit officer, Judy Hopps.
This is priority 1.
Hopps. Parking duty.
Sir, I'm not just some token bunny.
You strike out, you resign.
Deal.
Wings?
You are a key witness.
No, he is.
Hey! No matter what type of animal you are, change starts with you.
We gotta go.
Whose car is it?
The most feared crime boss, Mr. Big.
Wow, I'm all the way down here. Okay, let's fix that. Let's do that first. Next, we're going to talk about the fact that this theme of this was supposed to be heist, right? Crimes. Yet, not everybody can appreciate good picks. And in retaliation of picking good picks, we're watching movies like Dead Presidents, right? Because I'm being punished, even though my movie is more true to form than Waiting to Exhale. I don't know. That's my opinion. Let's start the show. That's twice. That's right. You know what he did? He put another record on.
You need dumb people in horror movies.
Yes, I love we finally get to my pick. You know, every time we do this, we just say my pick for last. Not just because it's the best. It is. But because you need dumb people to pick dumb movies till you get to the smart person picking the good movies. Or, as a good friend of mine says, in chess, the pawns go first. Speaking of pawns, I'm not here alone. Let's go ahead and bring in the co-host. We have none other than the next doctor. Hey, what's up, bro? And James. Speaking of which, let me change my name because it's no longer 15 to life. No. It is this. Bam! Here we go. Zootopia. It's about a land, a metropolis that has prey and predators. 90% prey, 10% predator. And the predator's going crazy as this bunny's trying to be a cop and trying to prove why she should be a cop. And she gets some sly fox, and the sly fox is their teammate. And there's a buddy cop movie as they take down the crime because it's a crime theme, just like I picked. So that's the synopsis for Zootopia. Who wants to start off by talking about how great this movie is? Let's go ahead and start off with the next doctor.
Zootopia. Well, this is one that I have seen before. And, you know, I like the nuances they put in there. You know, it talked about it shows the population, how it exponentially grows because rabbits multiply. It even talks about when later in the movie, Judy Hopps even makes that reference, you know, rabbits know how to multiply. So I like that. I thought it was pretty clever. You know, an animated movie about the underdog trying to overcome being the first to do something. You know, we all like to root for an underdog. You know, I think Judy Hopps is a character, pretty likable. You know, she's not annoying. You know, she's not trying to push herself onto people. She's just trying to be the best version of herself and go out there and change the world. Admirable. But is she really up for the task? You know, she doesn't get to do it alone, though, because she needs the wit of the fox, one of the predators. Now, I don't remember. In the beginning, Gideon, what was he? Was he a fox? So already she should have a little bit of mistrust with the fox. I mean, that is why her parents gave her all of that fox repellent, the fox spray, the fox zapper, which I thought was pretty funny. So already she should have some mistrust, but she doesn't really let it get to her. She does have it in the back pocket, but she really shows confidence right up front. I like that they built the character that way. There was really nothing. Sure, there was a twist at the end, but the movie was pretty straightforward. There was a mystery. She stumbled upon the mystery, got help solving it, had some fun adventures along the way. It wasn't that deep. And again, this is Zootopia. It was made, it's a children's movie. Sure. As with most cartoons, there's going to be some stuff in there for adults because the adults are going to be ones bringing the kids to the movies, there was nothing too in-depth about this movie. It was pretty simple, and I think that worked in its favor. It was easy to follow along. There was nothing too complicated about it, and it still had some humor along with it. I liked that Judy, even though she needed the slyness of the fox, she had her own capabilities as well. Tricking him into talking about his past money making so she can record it and pretty much do the entrapment, because that's what happens when the police do it, right? It's entrapment. I thought that was pretty clever, getting one over on the fox that way. Pretty funny. All right, yeah, we at the end of the road. Okay, you can have the recording, throwing it into the car lot, and then the fox going to get it. Oh, hey, probable cause. He just falls for it again because she gets underestimated time and time again, and she used that in her favor. I again thought the movie was easy to follow, funny. The characters were likable. I was a little bit annoyed with the I guess it was a tiger that was the receptionist. But I mean, again, got to think about it in the lens of this being a kids' movie. Something that's going to be kind of zany and funny for the kids. Okay, I can let that slide. But it did have a little bit of darkness. I mean, it starts at the beginning with the slash. You actually see the fox cutting Judy's face. Even though she gets tickets at the end, they kind of move past it. But she does get sliced up. Shows that, okay, there are stakes in this movie. And I like that. A little bit of darkness in there, even though it was a kid's movie. I liked Mr. Big. I thought that was pretty funny. Man, it was one of those things kind of like Training Day where, she did something nice for someone just in the course of her duties, and that came back to save her later on, just like in Training Day when, the guy did something nice, saved the girl, and that was able to save him when he was about to get chopped up into small pieces in the bathroom. And I thought that was a pretty funny moment. Ice them, putting them in to the ice bath. I think in the whole the whole nudist resort, I thought that was pretty funny because as humans looking at this, animals are always nude. So the yak coming around the desk with no clothes on, it didn't register. They didn't have any clothes on because it's an animal. But obviously in this world, they're wearing clothes and oh wait, they're nude, doing that whole thing. I thought that was pretty funny. Just showing that whole sequence of just nude animals was pretty funny. Also, the elephant that they say elephants never forget. Elephant didn't remember a darn thing, but the yak had a perfect memory and just was attributing it to the elephant. All in all, it was a pretty enjoyable, fun movie. Like I said, one twist that I got to say, when I first watched it, I was like, okay, there's something else going on. I didn't really catch that exactly was what it was until it was kind of revealed. But it wasn't so much of a stretch that, oh, yeah, this isn't coming out of too far of a left field. So I thought the pacing on the movie was good. No real downtime. And it had a nice payoff at the end with what was the fox's name? Nick becoming an officer. Haven't seen Zootopia 2, so I'm sure they using that payoff there. But otherwise, yeah, pretty decent movie. Those are my thoughts so far.
I haven't seen Zootopia 2 as well. I do want to give it a watch. James, go ahead and give some praise to this movie.
I don't have too much to say about this movie. I will say my favorite part is when they go to the MVA and the sloth is there. I thought that was hilarious.
Flash, 100-yard dash.
And I enjoyed that one immensely. Was the movie bad? And this is going to seem like I'm going on to my final thoughts already. I'm not. But was the movie bad? No. I think my biggest problem, arguably, the movie, of course, is made for children. The colors, the animals, and everything like that. But a great argument could be made. And I might say some of the better, in my opinion, Pixar or animated movies in general, you pick the company, are the ones that are made for the adults or adults in general, not necessarily the parents, but for adults in general. I'm going to think of WALL-E. I'm thinking of this one, Incredibles. There's something more than just the colors and the splashy sequences. But I know that this movie is not for me. The message is not for me. I don't need the message. And that's the hard part for me. But I don't think in any way that it takes away from the movie whatsoever, even though I don't believe in my heart of hearts that the message was not for me. I still think that they did a phenomenal job, and the story was a solid story. It was one that could be told and could be told well, and could be told with comedy laced throughout it and character growth. And in America, for whatever reason, we have a notion that cartoons are for children. The rest of the world does not necessarily think like that. And they treat it with more respect. And I like that they treated this movie with respect in how they treated these characters and the story and the beats and the journey that these characters go on. I really did enjoy that. But that's pretty much all I have to say right now before final thoughts.
My thoughts on this movie was it was comedy. Now, here's a little behind the scenes action for you. I did not watch this movie immediately because it's an anime movie. I usually don't watch anime movies. But somehow into watching the DMV scene with the sloth. And I laughed my ass off. So I said, I'm going to give the whole movie a chance. Now, granted, that was the funniest part of the movie. But a lot of scenes in this movie were fun, neat. But that sloth scene still to this day has me rolling. When he's giving the license plate number all the time, when he's getting it from her, And then he was like, the fox like, hey, you want to hear a joke? Sure. I don't know. I don't understand. It's so, the simplest things can be so funny. And it was just so simple, right? What do you call a 3-humped camel? Pregnant. And then he laughs with that delayed thing. And he has to go tell his coworker. It's just so funny.
And he's thinking about the joke too. He's thinking about the punchline.
just the whole part where he starts smiling and he was slow. It reminded me, and I know it's another movie, and we were talking about pre-production, but I'm just gonna put it out there. It reminded me of a scene I just saw last night in Super Mario Brothers Galaxy, where he was like, "She's right over." I don't know. I found it so funny. It was great. It was great. Ladies and gentlemen, find out what we're reviewing next week. Stay with us. You're watching Unpopular Review.
I'm a police officer.
Look, they pay you $162.39 a week just to look at bodies. Why can't you look at this one?
Why can't you look at it for yourself?
Don't you push me, boy!
They call me Mr. Tibbs.
What kind of people are you?
In the heat of the night.
My name is Sarah Grant. I'm in possession of evidence of an unlawful cover-up.
There are a number of whistleblower support organizations.
No, I just want to give everything back.
There are official channels, but there are unofficial ones.
Who is he?
Do you have the packages?
Yes.
We got our guy.
They know who you are. You're in big danger. Why'd you do this for me?
That is my job.
Thank you for using the Tri-State Relay Service. Have a wonderful night.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we're reviewing next Tuesday, next Thursday. But today, we are talking. You already shot? We are here talking about Zootopia. And we're here for thumbs up and thumbs down. We're going to start with James. James, what you got?
Listen, like I said, I don't think the movie's for me. I don't think the message is for me.
What Dead Presidents was.
Yes, I'm very much a history person. To go back, please watch that episode.
Okay.
I think we did a great job. I'm very much a history person. I love biographies and especially autobiographies if you get the chance, because you see it from the perspective of the person who actually went through it. Biographies, they put you in the state of, or like for documentaries like that, they put you in the state of the current state then of what was going on. So when some of the actions that people made in the historical past take place, you can kind of understand how they were thinking, why they would go that route and not this route. I think sometimes it's hard for people in our modern age, even if you talk to a younger generation, when we talk about memories being better back then. Well, you had to remember somebody's phone because you only had payphones. The cartoons were not so overstimulating. They were much slower pace, so the attention span was a lot better. Now you can tell somebody that, but if they've never seen that world, it would be kind of hard for them to grasp that concept. So there are different things that subtly change over time within our own lifetimes, let alone something that happened now about 50 years, almost 60 years ago. We don't even have the draft, though now they're talking about probably instituting a draft again. But even if they did, the circumstance will be a lot different in our global military position as related as in comparison to back then. But I like that, and you will see that in some of my upcoming choices that I'm picking to give a slice of experiences from different things like that. I gave Chris Hay on picking this movie just because I'm a hater and he's a hater, and we love to hate each other. That's why we've got along so well. But like I said, even though the message isn't for me, I think the story is phenomenal. I think for those children who get it, maybe they have to be a little bit older. It nails something. I think it's up there in some of the best. And I don't know if this is Disney Animation Studios or Pixar Animation Studios, but it's some of their best.
Disney.
Is it Disney?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think it's up there with their best, and I'm gonna put them with the Pixar and that, as I said, with Wall-E and everything like that. Incredibles. It's really, really good, and I probably will at some point see Zootopia too. So, like I said, I am a hater. This movie gets a thumbs down.
Actually, thumbs down. From James.
Thumbs down, Chris. There you go.
Put some shea butter on it.
Can I sell or can I sell? You see?
Oh God,
that was fantastic.
Oh God.
As for me, one other thing I want to bring up is, at the very end, our favorite sloth happens to be a street racer. That was a fun little nod, because he was zooming, I wonder if in Zootopia 2 they start out with him getting the ticket. Regardless, for really all the reasons that James mentioned, I'm going to give this a thumbs up because I did enjoy it the first time I watched it, and I enjoyed it again this time when I watched it. Beyond just the sloth parts, the movie as a whole is enjoyable, and it's something that I can watch again.
Okay, well, I find this movie hilarious, so it gets a thumbs up for me. James, however, gets a thumbs down because he's a hater. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching us here at Unpopular Review Entertainment. We're back in the saddle, ladies and gentlemen. All full speed ahead. We'll see you next week. Stay with us. Don't stay with us. Actually, have a good night. And screw that. We'll see you next time.
And as always, when you get the opportunity, push over a little kid.